Hello all, so I'm just walking you through some of the rules changes for this clubby campout and that are being play tested, and so everyone's on the same page with how they all work and how to implement them. One of the first things we're play testing is the new armor zones, which are bands around the belly instead of the circles that we're used to in the past. You should have attached to the email a new picture, and we're working on some new pictures as well, but it's the same height, so it's still the width of your hand from your about the belt line up to here, but instead of a round circle around the belly, it now extends around the sides like that. To find where the zone, what we call the open armor zone, which is where you can hit in the front, you just drop your arms straight down where your arms hang at the sides. That demarcates where the open armor zone is, which is right here. Zone 4 now starts at the edge, wraps all the way around, and comes back over to here. So check out the diagram if you want to know more about that. There's a few other little changes to basic rules, like burning, how that interacts with regenerating. If you want to stop a troll from regenerating now, you need to tag them. If you tag them with a torch, you need to hold that torch on them for the count of 20 to get them going, and then once they're burning, it takes them 10 seconds per size they are to burn completely, and after that point they are dead and there's no body or anything, and you couldn't be resurrected at all or anything. So that's just a change to the burning rules. There's a few other rules you'll see at the end of this document that'll be in the email that talks about just changes to things like how we run terror and holy damage, that sort of thing. But I'm just going to go through the document first, which is just all of the different class skills and abilities and what the slight changes are. Some of them big, some of them more minor. So the first one is gladiator skills for barbarian. We just allowed that to trigger off of duel. If you're dueled, you're not considered in a ceremonial battle or a stage battle, so you'll get +1 hit point and +1 AV as if you were in a fortified area. If you're dueled, it means you can be a barbarian and a samurai and then duel someone, and that also trigger that. So that's one change for a barbarian. For samurai, law enforcement has dropped down to rank 1 now, so it's sort of combined in that rank with resolve conflict. And tea ceremonies coming in at rank 2, which allows you, the samurai, to stabilize people whose mana is at the negatives, so they aren't going insane or anything like that. We're going to play test that, play around with it, and see if we like how that works. Or we might change a little bit to possibly restoring mana, but for now it just stabilizes mana. Veterans got a big retrofit. At rank 1, veterans now have limited unbreachability instead of vitals protection. This means that they have unbreachability for zones 0 through 2, so all their limbs. It's really great if you want a combo class with veteran now. You don't have to go all the way up through veteran to get some unbreachability. At rank 2, we got rid of we changed what improved brace does. Now it's called improved brace reactive. It does two things. One, it allows you to creep your brace along. If you can brace, and then you can move that brace by counting to your size, just like you're using stealth. Also, you can now react with brace whenever anyone uses a skill on you. So whenever anybody uses something that you could avoid, you could decide to call reactive brace, and your brace goes up even in the middle of combat. This does block things like hack. If someone were to hack you, you could call reactive brace. That would put you in a braced mode, which would then prevent the hack, and then it would just be gone all at the moment. You wouldn't be braced after that, but you would have prevented the hack. Kind of move for veterans because they're already unbreachable, but there's a lot of little cool combos with that. You should know you don't have to have brace to have reactive, improved brace that's reactive. You could have, if you have reactive brace, you can just get it triggered when people use things on you and then creep it around. So it's kind of cool that they're separate now. And that's all changes for veteran. Knight, we've just adjusted Triumph a little bit. It's not that new, most people know about it, but Triumph is now reading that when you call Triumph, you either heal yourself of a damage, like a hack or an endure. You can heal that, or you can gain +1 to your hit points, and then run around. You can't stack those. It's not like every single thing you kill you get a +1 hit point. It just replaces itself. So if you get it taken away, then you can get it back, and you take it away, get it back. This does interact with helms and things that would give you extra hit points already. That's it for Knight. Paladin, we just clarified that Might Strike makes all your attacks deal holy damage, but all your weapon attacks, not spells and things. And the weapon of your deity is the one that deals magic and holy. So you're going to have to be a little more careful about which weapon you use if you want to get the magic part of that. That's it for Paladin. Moving into the semis, Assassin has a slight change. we are playtesting a two-handed knockout dispatch. Most people are complaining that knockout dispatch is a bit too easy, and also it's kind of not really safe. People are coming over the shoulder and hitting people, in the knockout zone over the head like this, and it just feels like they're going to get hit in the face. It just ends up grappling. It's not fun. So we're going to use a two-handed knockout dispatch because it's such a strong ability, and see if we like that. That's it for Assassin. Now, Amazon got a big change, and so you have to be careful for how we're going to do Amazon. Throwing, Training, and Impale are exactly the same, but they have a new out. The out is called a skill share, or skill and spell share. What it does is the Amazon chooses an ally, and then that ally gains a copy of an ability that the Amazon has. So like if the Amazon wanted to give them Impale, for example, they could say, I have Impale, you can have Impale also. Or I have Throwing Training, you can have Throwing Training also. The person that you skill share with, as long as you stay skill sharing with them, both of you gain an ability which is new called Awake. What Awake does is if you tag somebody with Awake, instantly they wake up. It's sort of like an instant first aid, although it doesn't stabilize them or anything. It just brings them to consciousness instantly. So these two people, the Amazon and the person that they've skill shared with, can awaken each other by tagging each other whenever they would like to. So that's a skill share. That's rank 1 out. So you can look up in the document if you want to read more about it. Big change to Amazon at rank 2 also. At rank 2 they have a new ability, and right now we're calling it Whirlwind Aura. What it does is it triggers off of a descending. So you have to descend for the count of 5, and then when you get to the bottom of descending, you can call Whirlwind Aura, and you tag the ground, and then you would call Knockback 3 Awake Aura. What that does is, of course, knocks everybody back 3, even if they're down, and they wake up immediately. So this is true of enemies or friends. So it'll wake up your enemies, so be careful with that. But it also knocks them back, even your friends and your enemies. It's not magic. Very, very important. It's just you causing a whirlwind by dropping really fast out of the sky. And so what that's what's useful for, both Awake from Skillshare and Awake from the Whirlwind Aura, is that it can bypass Terror, because Terror is resistant to magical healing, but these abilities are not magical. So that means you could actually wake up people who are terrored with these abilities. Very, very useful. That's it for Amazon. Really great, cool, I think really cinematic changes, which should be really fun. Moving into Archer. Archer has a couple of changes. In rank 2, we've moved their reflexes and armor training into outs now. So they still have it, but it won't be there under in skills. They have a new ability called Accuracy, which is really, really great. You have to convoke with the weapon that you're going to use with Accuracy, and then you also have to be stationary, and you have to be stationary for the count of 5. You can't be interrupted while you're using this ability. If you are interrupted, it cancels the effect. So you call Accuracy, and then you count to 5 while holding the weapon that you'd like to use Accuracy with, and you count to 5, and as long as nothing interacts with you, hits you, touches you at all, that next strike is a warded attack. What that means is it cuts through resistances like magic resistance, unbreachability, all those things. Of course, it would have to be AV0 as well to cut through armor like that, but it just means if someone has a resistance to that ability, you can actually bypass that resistance. Really great to have an instance of Ward somewhere in Junior League, because it really is a balancing factor, and this is a very, very limited use of Ward. But since it's a class skill, a lot of people will have it. It's just hard to use. So it does mean that archers can actually take out a rank 2 veteran if they're careful and they use Accuracy. They still have the armor training, which is +1 to other armor. They can wear +1 armor, and they can use, they have reflexes still. They can catch missiles mid-flight. That's all good. It's just moved to the out section of Archer, so look for it there. Thief, nothing new other than Disable Ray. If you haven't seen Disable Ray already, it's rank 2 Thief, and that is an ability where it's a yellow packet. You shoot it at someone, you call an ability you want and then they lose that ability for the encounter. You have to pick one ability for the whole encounter. So like you say, disable Fireball, hit somebody, and then they lose Fireball. They can't use any instances of Fireball, whether it's for a magic sword or their own class or anything. Any way they try to use Fireball will not work for that encounter. But you can't change it. You have to use that. You have to disable only Fireball for the rest of that entire encounter. That's the only changes to Thief that we're playtesting. Ranger has a slight adjustment. Ranger with the Hunting Party. Hunting Party is now something it's free to do as long as you start the mission as a hunting party. Like in town, it doesn't cost you anything, just time. You have to say, we're doing a hunting party for hill giants, and it is a specific species. It's not like giants, it's just hill giants. If you decide to change it midway through the mission, like you get out there and you discover there aren't hill giants, they're actually stone giants, you can be punished by paying a mana to change it, but you still can change it if you have to. So that's a slight change to hunting party we're playtesting. With the mages, there really isn't a lot that we've changed. Really, they're all as they have been. We just revised the way it's all set up, so it's easier to read. Everything should be a lot cleaner as far as looking at it on the page, clarifying what's a rotator and what's not, and how rotators work. No changes there. The only ones I can think that to mention is there is a new ability called, we changed the name of Berry, call it Spirit Berry now. And now you can tag a player and call Spirit Berry, even if they're wounded or dead. They just can't be conscious. And then that triggers a healing on you, so it starts you healing of 1 damage. Usually it can't heal you while you're up, can't heal hit points back, but it can heal your hacks, or it can heal if you've endured, or anything like that. So that's a nice way for Necros to heal themselves if they're really pressed. We have ruled that a GM can say during a large-scale battle that if there's a whole bunch of people who are down and they keep reinforcing, you're allowed to just tag the ground and say Spirit Berry, assuming that there's a player there that you could use to trigger that to heal yourself. It isn't instant healing. It does take 20 seconds, so it's just like a jumpstart healing yourself. And to Nature Mage, we've gotten rid of Mobile Race. That's gone. And we put in Wildborn. Wildborn is an ability that allows you to gain 1 animal ability, usually based off of your familiar, but not always. And so it's like you grow wings, or you have martial arts, or maybe you have like climbing, acrobatics, something that's an animal ability. It usually is something that costs 2 build in the Adult League book, if you're wondering about how powerful of an animal ability it is. Talk to your GM, but it doesn't change every time you cycle into Wildborn. Once you pick it, it's always that thing. Just like once you pick a familiar, it's always that familiar. So it'll always be the same animal ability. It also allows animals and plants to talk to you. So animals and plants may decide to tell you things. You can't go around talking to them, though. That is it. At the end of this document, you really should check out. There's a keywords and terms. Wonderful job with all of this stuff. Just tons of things, all very clearly labeled. Tyson, our wrestler, did an incredible job putting all this together, and so he's been working on the new book, and so thanks to you, Tyson, for all of this work. Should be really awesome. Looking forward to an awesome game. Alrighty guys, that's it. Bye.